Hello and welcome, guys. You are here listening to The Target with Heflamoke as a host, sponsored by 2P in a nice corporation making all this possible. Hitbox and Vulcan are also supporting this project. And today we have our guest, Mr. Cyclops. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm okay. it,
Oh.
it was actually, yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, so Cyclops, today I want to talk with you about a bit about your casting career, how you got
Okay.
there, how what kind of helpers you had on the way, where you want to go with it. I mean, you are in this business now for about what, 2 years, 3 years, something like that, and I want to just have a nice little recap on how you developed. And since you are from Southeast Asia, specifically Thailand, I also want to talk a bit about Southeast Asian Dota, the tournament scene, the caster scene, everything around that. So let's just start with some details on you. You're by now 28, right?
Yes.
Yes, and your original job, what you studied, you're actually an industrial engineer, right?
Yeah.
What is it exactly you studied there? I mean, and how long did you study? You did that in Thailand?
Uh-huh. I graduated for like 2 years ago in that industrial engineering.
Yeah.
Um, I spent my time on study that one for 5 years, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then just I'm now working as an engineer in daytime, handling about all the systems in what's it called in the building, like some what's it called in English? It's like sanitary,
Oh yeah.
everything, electrical, everything in that in building. You know,
Okay. So you're actually
the
still
power.
working. You're still working that job.
Yeah, still,
Yeah.
but it's kind of I kind of like my day job because it's flexible and my coworker is pretty good. So sometimes if I have two cars, I can just switch the shift with
Yeah.
with my coworker. So it suits more with my part another job as a caster.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing for you. I mean, having a job that still sustains you also gives you like additional financial support, sort of, and you can still make space for casting. I guess that's what many casters actually dream of. The downside is, I guess, that your day job is not related to esports, so you do pretty much live in two worlds: the real life and the esport world, if you want to call it like this.
Yeah, but it's pretty actually it's kind of tired, you know. After I finish my day job, I go back and I cast for like 4 or 5 hours. But yeah, I'm still can do for now.
Yeah. By the way,
I'm
guys,
fine.
about the webcam, Cyclops has no webcam. We tried to set one up, maybe with the internet cafe, but we didn't get it done in time. But I'm pretty sure, Cyclops, that's the investment you're gonna do in the future, especially now that you're, for example, streaming yourself. You get subscribers there. Even like I was following your TI Open Qualifier Southeast Asian section that
Hmm.
was casts, and you got quite some nice donations there. So I guess a webcam will be somehow available in the future.
Yeah, yeah. I got 11 subscribers so far, and
Yeah.
I'm looking for more. I'm looking for maybe just 30 would be great.
Well, I guess like those subscribers for like 3 months or 4 months or something like that, and there's a webcam in. Well, let's just hope so. But a bit back to your real life. I read in a former interview with you, I think you did that with Gozo Gamers or another organization. You are actually a single child, right? And you pretty
Yeah.
much have the full support of your parents. You said that in many interviews before that. I read up on that, so I know actually about your background story. So even now, 2 years later, your parents still fully support you. They say like, you know what, boy, you got a nice job in real life, and you have your hobby that is now sort of a semi job, and they're still full supportive with you.
Yes, yes. They still have a full support with you. I'm so lucky. Yeah, with that,
Yeah.
especially when I am the only child. Um, but still, they still support me.
Yeah, no, I know how that is. I'm also like a, single child, and we can do a lot more mistakes than when you're actually born in a family where you have a competition with siblings, you know?
Are you a single child too?
Yeah, I am.
Really?
Yes.
I never knew before.
Do I strike you as someone who is born with a lot of siblings?
Um, I don't know, man. It's like everyone else looks like they have brothers, sisters,
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh, by the way, the nice thing about this show and of course the podcast is also that people in the live chat as well as in the Reddit thread, you can ask questions, and I'm always trying to work them in. So we actually have some active viewer engagement. Someone is asking what is his channel name, and I think they mean you. So just shout out to your Twitch channel. What's the address?
My Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Cyclops. Yep.
Just like your real name.
Yeah.
I mean the Cyclops name.
CLOPC.
Okay. Anyway, then back to the background story. I mean, I know it because I read up on it, but I'm pretty sure many people don't even know where the Cyclops name comes from. So can you, in a nutshell, just tell the viewers, like, where is that name from?
I played rugby that time in my university, and then I was like, the boot just hit me in my eyes and my eye, and then it hurts, and then the doctor said, hey, you have to patch it for like a week, and everyone just keep mocking me, hey, you goddamn fool, you only got one eye. So I looks like a Cyclops, the one-eyed giant. So maybe I guess that is.
It's actually a pretty funny story. I didn't know that, by the way. I didn't know that till I read up for this specific podcast, because I thought
really?
Cyclops, that's just like from, I don't know, some movie or anime you read, something like that, but that it actually has like a real life background with you getting punched in the face. That's that's something new to me. So see, I learned a lot.
It's actually not a punch in the face. It was like the boot, what we call a stud. And it hit me in my eyes, and it was that's where it come from. Not different from a punch, actually.
Yeah. Anyway, I also read up how you actually started casting in English. I mean, you're from Thailand, or you obviously speak Thai, and like there was actually a tournament where you were assigned as an admin, or I think you organized it yourself. It was a Southeast Asian region tournament, and you just couldn't find English casters for it. I don't know for what reason, doesn't even matter. But it was pretty much born out of necessity. You said like, okay, I don't find English casters, so I sit down with my friend there and we go cast English. That's pretty much how it started, right?
Actually we did find one caster, but he just, after the first season, he just, no, I'm not going to cast for you anymore. I was like, okay, I cannot find anyone. And then, so it's the second season, so I decided, all right, I think we need to cast this by ourselves. We got no choice, so I just sit down with my friend, you are right, and we start the first game. So, yep, we cast it in Thai.
Oh yeah, true. You cast it in Thai and then later swapped to English, right?
Yeah, and then just a normal Twitch chat. They bashed me and my friend so hard. It's like, hey, what are you doing? You're hosting an international tournament, but you cast it in Thai.
Yeah.
So okay.
Well, it's always bad if you don't have like English content on a tournament that is appealing to people from more than one region, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah. Actually, we still can find my first casting in YouTube.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of YouTube content you have. Depends on your tagging quality. I guess people can just find it on YouTube by typing in Cyclops. But let's talk a bit more about your casting career, because from then on, you kind of liked the English casting, I guess, because it was a conscious decision that you go into it and just pursue it. You had actually a little helper there on the way. As far as I know, Shiva was the first international caster to this point who picked you up and got you on the show, got you some nice exposure. Is my information right there?
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, and I owe her a lot.
Yeah. How did that happen? Tell me about this. Like, how did you get in touch with Shiva, and how did she say like, okay, he's a nice fella from Thailand, I'll just get him on the show?
I cast in some tournament. for my own channel, for my own studio. It called ELG Studio at that time, and then just she was just directly contact me through the
Yeah.
Skype. I don't know how, but she invited me, so I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was there saying all the stupid stuff with the first game of Navi with new lineup. I was like, okay, I didn't even know did I just done. You know, more, around 20,000 viewers there.
Yeah. And how was it the first time in front of such a crowd?
Um, I
Because
was
yeah.
that is actually my first time co-casting in English with some guy other that is not my friend,
Hmm.
and it was okay. It was okay
Yeah.
for me.
So that's pretty much the start of career. Like, what did she ever since? I mean, since Shiva pretty much brought you into scene, gave you that little, I don't know, kick up start, to get also like on the international scene. What have you casted ever since? Because I know you have been casting a lot with Beyond the Summit, like especially the C games where potentially the US Americans they don't have too much time around it. So you casted I-League. I think you casted Mars TV now as well, not sure. You casted for sure last year MPGL. This year we both casted MPGL. What else did you do on this way here?
After that day that Shiva brought me to the scene, it's actually nothing happened to me. Like I still have to stuck. I was struggling hard trying to find some tournament to cast because, as you can see, if we are not in some studio, it's kind of hard to find a game to cast unless we do some unofficial casting via ticket. So
Yeah.
I keep asking around for the organizer, hey, if you got any game to cast. Like I've been casting for free, like
Yeah.
1 year for
Oh,
nothing.
that's the same with most of the cast that try to get into the scene. It takes a long time till you get recognized and if you can actually make some money off it.
Yeah, and then after that, the last year in September, Goss just messaged me and just giving me he gave me a chance to cast in the Beyond the Summit. My first tournament for Beyond the Summit is MSI Beat It.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh-huh.
MSI
Yep.
beat it. That was on Beyond the Summit? I thought that was Join Dota. I don't know which
MS
year it was, but
MSI beat it on 2014, if I'm not wrong.
I think that was Join Dota.
Um, I don't know. I can't
I can't
remember
remember. It's over a
too
year
because
ago.
yeah, as you know.
Anyway, I mean, ever since like most people know you from the stream, especially if you cast for certain labels or like if you even do something on your stream, you mostly solo cast. And we both, when we met in Malaysia, like 2 weeks ago, we talked about this, and you discovered that like dual cast is actually
Hello?
something very interesting for you because till now you like 90%, 95%, maybe even more, you always been solo on the stage.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I thought I muted my own microphone. Well, can you repeat it again?
Yeah, I mean, I said when we both were in Malaysia together for the MPGL cast for the LAN finals, we talked about you being all the time solo. I mean, most of the time, 95% or more, and so you kind of discovered at MPGL that's like dual cast is very interesting. That it you felt that it is like a gain of quality. So is this something you want to do in the future, or like what's the big difference for you solo cast versus dual cast?
This is very interesting question because in my I don't know, man, for me in my kind of casting, I have my own rhythm. I mean, uh, I walk into a room, I start to cast. I need some everything around me. I need my good vibe, songs,
Yeah,
emotion. Everything must be ready. And when the show starts, it will flow right from the start to the end. But for I will for the difference between solo cast and dual cast. For me, um, solo cast, I can pretty much control everything. It's
Yeah.
like I have my own way to telling the story to you guys. I mean, I have my steps by step that, hey, at this minute I will show you here, here, and here. Um, but for dual cast, it's something different.
Yeah.
But back then in MPGL, when I did the dual cast with you, I admit that the night before I cannot sleep and I was super worried. But I
Why?
didn't tell you
Because of
because
me?
no, because of the dual cast, I'm so worried about that.
Yeah.
But but it's kind of easy since we got to talk to each other before the game,
Yeah.
and then and then and we also sit next to each other. So when we just trying to connect, it's so easy to connect.
Yeah.
So that was a great tournament to cast for MPGL.
Yeah.
For what happened to me today is my first time co-casting online. Actually, a super serious co-casting
Yeah.
in a pretty
In
super
iLeague
big
that
match.
was, right?
Yeah,
With
that was.
Blaze today.
And it was my fault. It's not his fault. God just want to add in some analytical caster, and I kind of I listen a lot of Blaze casting, but I never cast with him before. So as you can see, if you watch the game, the cards right
Yeah.
from the start, the first match, which is I solo casting, what a great match. I got everything on me. I'm kind of if a top form on that. Everything is coming.
Yeah.
But then suddenly I have to adjust myself from solo cast from um, suddenly from a little bit unofficial casting, joking around,
Yeah.
to a really serious
Yeah.
cast.
And this is, by the way, something I can connect to my question, because I think we talked about this at MPGL Malaysia as well as other people, like, just randomly talking about it, and I soaked in their thoughts, and I was like, okay, when Cyclops is alone, he's like this funny guy, and I mean, like, let's face it. At the moment, you're a caster that is hated by 50% and loved by 50%. Those people who hate you, they say like you have a horrible voice and your English is unbearable because of your accent, and they just don't accept this, someone with an accent casting Dota 2. And the other guys, they are those who don't care about the accent. They love you as a person because you're a really nice guy, and they also love your jokes. You're like you're very freestyle casting. I mean, you make a lot of fun on the stream. Like, even, I don't know, it's even I have to laugh most of the time when I watch your stream or anything like that. So what my question is around that is, now, are you worried that if you start at some point dual casting, and I mean, you notice when you cast with me, I kind of dragged it into a serious thing. I mean, we made jokes, right? It's not like we didn't make any jokes, but it was still a lot more serious than people know you. And then some people were like, oh, why is Cyclops not making any joke? You read the Twitch chat just like I did. And is this something that worries you, that if you dual cast, you lose your Cyclops mojo?
I try to learn as many as I can into different kind of casting. But I need to slowly learn about it. Today it was like too sudden to change from me into a serious me. So I was like, shit.
But there is a serious you. I mean, I saw it myself. I casted with you. There is a serious Cyclops that is not short in the same hype. So just because you didn't do as much jokes as we know it from your online stuff, you still hyped the crowd. The people were cheering for you. Of course, it was on your home turf, as in Southeast Asia, so you had already a lot of fans, but still, people love the energy you bring into it, and I also enjoyed it, because I'm a caster that is kind of spoiled. Like, when I get excited, there have to be really good plays, and for some other stuff for the sake of like hype. I sometimes even have to force myself, like, I don't know, a good music before the game or watching some nice highlights that I really get in the mood for like good Dota and everything, even though the game is horrible. But you bring all the energy in a cast. That's for sure.
Yeah, with my kind of casting, you know, it's not like, hey, I just jumped in and was like, hey, click one button and start the cast. It's not, you know,
Yeah.
due to my internet problem, I cannot cast on my own place. I have to go to the studio very near to my home. It's actually in a cyber cafe, but they got a room.
Yeah.
A shooter cyber cafe. They got a room for streaming. That means every time I start a cast, I have to set it up every time, set the things up again. Because once you restart the PC, it's all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did so many things before I cast. In each day, I have to watch the stats and also
Yeah.
about the. In my kind of cast, I just need to do more homework and
yeah. Well, actually, I
don't
saw
know,
that. I
maybe
can.
not
Yeah.
that, but I need to update all the things, you know, around the world, watching some news.
No, I saw that firsthand. I mean, it was kind of funny because we both arrived to the scene, and on the first day of MPGL, we both had like a copy of the current patch notes because it was like the first big tournament after 6.84 kicked in. So I was traveling for more than 24 hours to Malaysia, and the only thing I really did on the way was studying patch notes. What changed, the values of the heroes, the new items. Like, I had to memorize the new item names because I didn't have the chance to actually play the patch. I just saw some streams on the way. I had the patch notes, and you did the same. You even did, I have to tell the viewers, but you really printed it out, and how can I say this? Like you had like this role in it, so it really looked like some study papers. It was really amazing. I was intrigued by the preparation you put in every cast.
Oh, thanks, man.
But let's talk a bit about the casting career in general. Is this something you want to do long term? Like, you can see yourself in a year from now, in 5 years from now, still as a caster?
Yeah, because it didn't affect my as long as it didn't affect my day job or just my normal life. I don't know why do I have to stop. You know, it's pretty good. It's pretty good part-time job, and I kind of enjoyed it.
And like, giving up your real life job, would that be an option for you if casting would actually make enough money?
That is pretty hard question.
I know, but I love those questions.
If it's not, you know, actually, with I receive the money in US dollars, and I living here in Bangkok, which is a lot cheaper than in Europe or in USA. So
Yeah.
it's pretty okay about the income, but the problem is it's not stable in each month.
Yeah.
How much you earn, it depends on how much you cost.
Yeah.
If it's possible, I am looking to cast for every day, but I don't think that is possible.
Yeah.
So
well, it's just like an actor. Like, actors have the same problem. They get hired for a big project and they're busy for like half a year, maybe a year, and then it might happen that they have nothing to do 3, 4, 5 months, and you have the good thing, you actually have the backup as in your job. Well, other people that commit fully to esports, they have to do other jobs on the side, like even really bad jobs they never studied for, like, or jobs that don't even require higher education. So I get you there. I get that leaving the convenience of your daylight job pretty much is something that is a hard decision. It has to be like a regular offer for you, I guess.
Because if I stop my day job as an engineer, my work experience will stop, and we don't know what will happen when I get to 40 or 45. I have to take care of my parents. So yeah, I actually cannot leave my day job, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty lucky that I told you I got a very flexible um, workplace and
Yeah.
pretty good coworker here. Yeah.
Let's put one more thing on top of it. So let's say tomorrow someone comes to you, says, Cyclops, I love you. I give you a monthly salary, let's say on a European or US standard, but you have to leave Thailand to go into a studio. Would you take it?
No, because my mom and dad is here.
Okay. So family over career, pretty much, even if it's
I'm
in
the only
theory a dream.
son, so yeah, I cannot, you know, I cannot stay away. I mean, stay too far from my mom and dad.
Yeah. So, but even if you would financially support them, let's say you could still send a check so they can even maybe hire someone who takes care of them when they're older. Because you said like when you are old, you have to also take care of your parents because that's how you do it in Thailand. You take care of the elder because there's no system by the state like in Europe, for example, where they are being taken care of pretty much with the financial support and special facilities, etc.
Yes, then I would consider about it again. But if I can choose, I won't leave my mom and dad. I can't stand missing them.
Yep, that's the I guess that's a good reason. So the link to your family is very strong. I mean, they're very supportive with you, and you pay them back with this loyalty. That it's I guess something I can admire. I guess I'm more of an independent guy because I'm going from country to country, city to city whenever I have the opportunity, just because there is no girlfriend, wife, and much of a family left. So I guess I'm independent. But yeah, you still have your parents, and it's good that you have. Anyway, talking about wait, we already had it. Yeah, talking about the helpers on the way. You are often on Mr. Admiral Bulldog's stream. How did you get to know Bulldog? Because that's also a question from Reddit.
How did I get to know Bulldog?
Yeah.
I don't want to say this, but Bulldog is actually, you know, my early what's it called? Early day fans. He's one of my fans actually.
Yeah.
In back in 2 years ago in 2013, you know, I was there with Shiver. And I casted his game Alliance. That time I don't know what is Alliance. What is this? Oh no. That time that team name is No Tide Hunter.
Yeah, No Tide Hunter.
Yeah, No Tide Hunter, and he'd be like, "Hey man, how you doing?" After their game and they won, they greet me, and then that's where everything starts. And then we added Skype, and then one day he texts me like, "Hey, you wanna play?"
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Come on.
And of course, ever since you have the name The Fool, I mean, I don't think you ever get rid of this name.
Yeah, he's the first game I played with him was Phantom Lancer. I played Phantom Lancer. Yeah, because that's my best hero, and I don't want to lose in front of the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your ping anyway? If you play with Bulldog, you probably play on a European server, right? So your ping is horrible anyway.
300.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ, that's not fun at all.
But it's actually getting better. Is around 250 now.
That's still horrible, Cyclops.
It is pretty good for me. 250, I am playable for me.
Okay, yeah, because I know people that like they wouldn't even touch a game if they have latency above 100, and pro players, you know, if they don't see 60 FPS on their stream in 80 to 100 hertz with ping on 20 ms or something, that's like their minimum working condition. Everything else they will complain, write a blog like a Sama blog, something like, you know, messing with everything. Okay, but no, it's pretty interesting that you can also now utilize like the exposure and promotion you get by Mr. Bulldog. He has a big stream. The people love you and the interaction you have with Bulldog. I mean, he's a funny guy, and you're a funny guy too, and that makes like a amazing combination. And yeah, I mean, I watch Bulldog stream as well, and when you're there, it's really hilarious. And well,
yeah. Actually, you guys might saying, "Hey, you are using this ping, high ping as your accuse." I'm not using at all because
Yeah.
most of the mistake because I'm a fool. I'm, in with 250 ping, when you will get used to it, if you just relax and just um yeah, 250 ping is not a problem, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just like
Well, in MOBAs it actually is. I mean, if I don't know if you played, did you play Counter-Strike back in the days, like some years
I'm still
ago?
playing right now.
Yeah. Because like in Counter-Strike 1.0 to 1.5, that's where I started esports pretty much alongside with Quake and Unreal
Oh,
Tournament. Because higher ping was actually advantage most of the time because the input on the server, the people that just saw you sometimes flickering, sometimes you were here, then you were there, and there were actually scripts where you could make your ping higher for a certain reason, so they couldn't really aim at you. But the problem is with Dota, everything is server side, which means you're the only one who lags, and they still see you in a position where you actually are. Anyway, let's not talk about too much about ping because we know that yeah, not everybody has the best internet, and especially playing cross region is a horrible thing. I know how bad it is just as a caster connecting to C servers, for example. There are lag spikes, even Singapore sometimes crashing. So, but talking about your casting career and how much progress you made. So looking back 2 years when you casted the first some games and looking at it now, how much did you improve? Because you always said you want to learn more Dota, more facts about Dota, insights, and you also wanted to improve your English. If you would watch a video of you yourself right now, 2 years ago, do you think you actually made a nice learning curve?
mm, I did improve, but I'm still not satisfied with it. I I should have, I mean, better than this. If I only have a time to go for some English course, but because of the casting schedules and my day job, is kind of hard to find time to learning
Yeah,
English properly. But even though I go to learn with on that English course, I will get some grammar, which is make me speak a good tense. But the thing is, it's all about accent and
yeah,
how I pronounce some letters in English. I have big problem about R and L letters.
yeah,
When that and also some other words. I think accent is something that I really can't fix. When someone come into my stream and said, "Hey, what is this accent? This guy sucks," or his voice really gave me cancer. I understand them.
yeah,
I understand him, but I don't blame them at all. But it's something like it is something that I cannot fix. So
yeah,
it's kind of sad about that. It would be great if they gave me some criticisms about the game, the fact of the game, how I control my camera, how
yeah,
I keep showing all the information because I can learn everything on that,
yeah,
but I
absolutely.
cannot really fix my accent and my English.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about because I mean I'm not English either, so I had also like I always have this uphill battle. Me, my native language, English as my I don't know, day and night language because I live in other countries. But then again, I also have to use other languages there, so that's why I learned like almost all of the European languages. And for me to swap around in my brain, it's sometimes kind of hard, especially if you have to swap the languages from a meeting into a cast into chatting with other people, social media, etc. That's where I get sometimes messed up. But yeah, when it comes to accent, you really have to put I don't know, a very targeted approach onto it. Did you ever consider like taking English lessons from, for example, a native that is around Thailand?
Yes, if I have time. Yes,
Yeah,
I
but it
I will.
yeah.
I reading some books about vocabulary, and
Hmm.
I just highlight everything that related to my casting. Every word that related to my casting. But it takes time for me to when it comes to a real casting. I need to to bring those words into a cast. It quite takes time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll try harder.
And I mean, from my point of view, like when I think it's also a bit of how can I say this? If you're not a native and you never grew up in this language, I guess it's also kind of hard if you stumble upon a certain vocabulary. For example, when I talk with people, they mostly can't really tell where I'm from. Sometimes they guess American, or sometimes even Australian or South African. But when I actually tell them I'm German, then they like, okay, I didn't even notice. I didn't even know you're like from German, because usually Germans have like a horrible accent, just as bad as Thai people have. But for example, they would notice if you put me in a kitchen, and there you just like completely the vocabulary. Like it took me a while to actually learn stuff. I don't know, from pot to frying pan, like all the vegetables, all the spices, for example. I mean, in Dota and in eSports, internet, it's all business. I can talk a decent English, but if you put me in a kitchen or any other subject I just don't know, then the vocabulary will be limited, and then people instantly notice that you're a foreigner.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go away from language and everything, because we can communicate. That's all that matters. The state of Southeast Asian Dota. What do you think? Like, just a general thought, how it developed the last, let's say, year. Because 2014 we actually had quite some drama and also some setbacks, you know, bans by Valve, teams disbanding, ruling teams in their area. The roster just crumbled, they went to other teams, organizations, scams, so many things. Like, it's just a mess sometimes.
Yes, it is us. We are all this is what's it called? We always have drama, because I think the main problem of C is we have too many languages to speak. We are so many race here in C, and every single race dislike each other. I don't want to say that they hate each other. I say just dislike.
Oh, they hate each other. You can say it, Cyclops. Be honest. I mean, the Southeast Asian Twitch chat, it feels like you're on a battlefield.
Bro, no, you don't know how's it like to play in Southeast Asia MMR. Dude, it's just if there is a C users out there, you will know what I'm talking about. We cannot speak good to each other, no matter what game it is, you know, because just now before the interview here with you, I played Counter-Strike Global Offensive just now, and my teammate is shooting each other for no reason, because, hey, why don't you give me AWP, buy some gun for me? And he said, I don't want to buy. Why don't you buy like she buy? And then they just starting, you know, fighting each other, and they end up shooting each other, and then they all got kicked out of the lobby.
Okay, that's interesting, I have to say.
Yeah, and I think that the big problem is not about the drama, the gambling, the scam. I think the root of all evil is us. It's everything inside us. We are so ego. When something happens, we are not going to blame ourselves, including me sometimes. I also pick to blame my teammate to make me feel better.
Yeah. I do that. I do the same.
Us.
Everybody does the same. Like, there are some people who are so patient and whatnot, but if I lose games, and then I'm raging. Like, most people know me for raging. Sometimes, like in 2014, I often needed someone in the lobby to talk for me, because I was banned for weeks because I was still actively playing Dota, and I was like, okay, screw that.
No, the thing is, you start to rage when you lost the game, but in Southeast Asia, we start to rage when it comes to picking a hero.
Yeah.
You know, someone picking Shadow Fiend. Hey, I'm going mid. I got SM first pick. He just was like spamming click on this hero. And then everyone seems fine. Okay, you go mid, Shadow Fiend. And then the third guy comes and picks something like Viper. And the fourth guy comes with Storm Spirit. And I still think that, okay, we got 3 core heroes. They can split out to off lane, safe lane, and mid lane. And the fourth guy comes with Templar Assassin.
Yeah.
So it's everyone just going to mid lane.
But I mean, every region has that Cyclops. I mean, in Europe, for example, if you read anyone like typing Cyrillic alphabet, that indicates, I mean, most people don't even know if that's Russian or Serbian, Bulgarian, whatsoever. It's all the same for them, so they go full YOLO on them. And in the US, it's the Peruvians. I guess in Southeast Asian Dota, it's mostly like the Pinoys. Everybody insults each other as Pinoys. It's like every region has their, I don't know, like it's pretty crazy.
Is for me, I think in my opinion, it's not just Filipinos here. It's every single country. In Thailand, Thailand is a goddamn bad ass. You know, maybe the biggest evil in this region. But the good thing of Thailand is they are not speaking much because they don't know English.
Yeah.
So the most they can do is just going in and doing some intentional feeding. Yeah, but yeah, it's this kind of problem that, and when this kind of problem happens, we got no unity. When we got no unity,
yeah,
we got more drama. When we got more drama, we got late sponsors. Our players is not good. Yeah. We cannot living by gaming like in China. Well, okay, people saying, hey, China is so racist, but at least they unite in their own country. That's why they are so strong and they are so disciplined on Dota 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're disciplined by nature. Like everything they do, they're just doing it very straightforward and focused, reminding me often actually of the German mentality, because we're pretty much the same way. Like we have one goal and then we work really hard for it, and there's like no right and left, and always as punctual and exact as a clock, pretty much. Okay, but let's not just talk about the people. Obviously, the people is what determines a community and how hostile it is, but not everything is about pop Dota. Let's be honest. There are also like the big events. So Southeast Asia, do you think, like from a business point of view, sponsors, organizations, everything involved in the esport business, is that in a state where you think it should be, or are there many more things to come? We have Mineski doing a good job when it comes to MPGL, for example. We had this year Major All-Stars, which was a big tournament, and there's also like this year is a 100,000K tournament coming in Thailand.
Yes.
So what do you think about this development? Z going in the right direction?
Yes, exactly. Z is going into the right direction with all the help of you know, the biggest organization in Southeast Asia is Mineski. They're doing everything to push the scene forward, and also us, our C people, we need to, you know, keep on supporting teams and just, you know, maybe less drama. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that there will be more sponsors to come, because in Southeast Asia we still don't have that much like in Europe or USA, but we got the potential, I believe.
Yeah, I mean it's mostly like a business issue for. Okay, I'm in this business where I have to work with sponsors and casters and also stream revenue and everything, and it's the problem is really about sponsors not making a lot of money in those regions, because not all of those countries are actually like advertisable. For example, if I have a stream, let's just say we talk about, let's just take, for example, Beyond the Summit as an example. So if they have a stream with 20,000 viewers and it's a Southeast Asian game, so let's say 15,000 of them are Southeast Asian, and 5,000 are from like Canada, US, or some Central European countries. Those 5,000 viewers will probably make more revenue on their stream than the 15,000 Singaporeans, Malaysians, Filipinos. That's really because the revenue model, for example, we have on Twitch or any other platform for Southeast Asia, it's so low. It's just as low as, for example, South America. And sponsors are just not interested in pumping so much money in there.
That is something I just know when I talk to you during MPGL. I thought every single wheel counts as the same, but it's not, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, is if you what you say is true, it's kind of hard for our Southeast Asian to setting up studio, setting up a platform for business because we um we don't have that much of population compared to like USA or China
Yeah.
or that kind of stuff.
I mean,
And also,
America is good for money, but I mean, if you look at it, like the teams, for example, and everything, then the scene is also a disaster. Like, e.g., then there's a half a universe and a black hole before the next team pretty much comes, and those teams that come, they come for a month, sometimes just 2 weeks, and then they disband and shatter in all directions you can possibly think of. So, when it comes to teams and variety, then Southeast Asia is well organized. You have like, I mean, I can list like 10 Southeast Asian teams that are around for a long time. So kudos to those.
hmm? I'm sorry.
Oh, did you just lose your microphone
No,
again?
no, no. The last sentence. Who?
No, I said like the scenes in comparison, North America and Southeast Asia,
Uh-huh.
Dota, like despite the sponsors and money and everything, but the teams are abundant like in Southeast Asia. We have so many teams
Yes.
sticking around for years, some of them more or less successful. I mean, I'm really just waiting for finally a C team making good progress in just one tournament to give the scene a bit oomph, and also the sponsors like, hey guys, you can actually also win stuff with us, for example prize pool money.
Yeah, but there is so many factors in Southeast Asia that different um, from Western. Just like for example, a gamer in Sweden, their country.
Yeah.
I mean, their I don't know what to call in English. I mean, their citizen is happy.
Yeah.
That citizen is chill. They got a good chill country. You don't have to, serious on fighting money that much like what we do in Southeast Asia. Well, we are the third world country here. We need to strive hard
Yeah.
to make a living.
Actually,
Yeah.
I think for making a living, it's pretty much the same struggle in almost every country in the world. But the problem is, of course, like if you say you committed to esports in Southeast Asia, let's say the Philippines or Thailand, and you're not a good player or not a good caster or not a good organizer, and all that fails, you don't make money of it, then there's no backup. While in other countries, I guess, like there's still someone who, even the state gives you financial support till you find the
Yes,
next job.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's what I'm what's
yeah,
talking about. Their government support their citizens, so they can live on. But us no, if we play for a while and then we feel like, oh God, we are not gonna go far with this, so we just have to quit.
yeah,
We have to quit and we just get back to a real life
yeah.
and focus on doing some normal occupation.
Absolutely. And well, I mean, there's also still the big problem that, for example, the community thinks that like the people may be beyond the summit or join Dota, or even, for example, you and myself, that we are making tons of money in esports. But the reality is that like regardless how big or small you are, mostly for the region you are in, you're one of the lowest paid jobs, if even paid. I mean, you already said it, like most casters, for example, most players, they start at completely zero. So the first thing you have to do to get into esports as a caster or player is you have to invest time. And since you don't
Yes.
gain anything in the meantime, you also have to invest money, because that's like, what, 6 months, 12 months, maybe 24 months if you can afford it, of no income whatsoever. And the hope that you somehow strike a big deal, you get in a good team, or you get in a studio, something like that. And after that, you're not entering like, you're not coming out of this as a millionaire. You're just a very low paid guy that still has to struggle. Here in Europe, sure, if you compare it with something that a caster, for example, in let's say the Philippines, like I guess the European casters are rich, but if you have to pay the living costs in Europe, then they're really, really sad. With a non-education job, you will still make a lot more money than in esports.
Yes. That's really true. Um, it's kind of sad.
Yeah,
It's not that we are not reaching the NBA level of sports yet,
but we are going
or
there.
you, well, maybe it takes time, maybe like 5 or 10 years, who knows? Because, but I do believe maybe we got a chance in the future, because since in the futures, I
Yeah,
think people will play late sports more to in front of the PC and playing games. As you can see, kids these days compared to kids like 20 years ago, or when we were a kid,
yeah,
what we doing? We going out shooting, maybe going out doing some kite
yeah,
outside. Hey, come on, play kite. What kids these days do?
yeah,
They stay in front of their PC trying to kite a bristleback with their Drow Ranger.
yeah. Well,
It's
that's
different.
yeah. Absolutely. Well, for me personally, it was also the reason I went into esport is because, I mean, I'm for 15 years around esports, maybe as a player, as an organizer, admin, and like the last some years as a caster. But when I was young, and the funny thing is, you're just as old as me. I mean, I'm around 30, you're 28 by now, so you're still a bit younger than me. But either way, when 15 years ago, when esports started, like with the first some tournaments and the bigger games that actually, you know, were online available, um, nobody could properly make money off it. Like back then, $1,000, $5,000 or something, these were like world championships and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah.
completely crazy. But actually making money off that with streaming, with prize pools, with sponsors or anything, that was completely unthinkable. Now, 15 years later, I quit, for example, med school, just like Gods did, because now esport is in a state where you can see it as a business. I mean, I know, for example, that being around esport, completely underpaid, if I'm even paid. Most of the stuff you all first have to start as a yeah, not paid guy. But esport is going somewhere, and that's why I like people like you, for example, that also bring, yeah, this whole incentive to the scene, like Thailand, like going out there, making exposure for the Southeast Asian scene, for example, taking care of certain events, boosting the whole publicity, because there are people who don't even play the game, but they follow you because they like you. And maybe at some point Thailand picks you up and they just put you on national television. Look at our Cyclops guy. He did so good
Yeah.
in esports, making his own business, working as a guy, taking care of his parents, everything.
In our region, the media is very important.
Yeah.
They still publishing some bad news about the game, like, hey, the guy playing GTA, hey, play GTA and go rob a taxi.
Yeah.
And they be like, oh god, so big column in a newspaper. This guy play GTA, play computer game, and go rob a taxi.
But I mean,
That's
over the last 10, 15 years or so, or even longer, I think we proved the point that not everybody who plays GTA is, I don't know, robbing a car, or someone who plays Counter-Strike is going out there and shooting all his classmates.
yeah.
But it's still ridiculous that the media is still like 20 years behind all that. The same with television and newspapers and everything. But let's not complain about this, because this is actually something I have for my next or upcoming podcast with a
Okay.
journalist where we talk about this. I want to end our podcast with some questions by the viewers. I mean, those questions who were in the chat. Now, guys, is your last chance if you have some more. But I mostly asked them already. But there are some on Reddit. So let's start with this. I already asked how you and Bulldog became friends, so that's fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, here someone asked a very interesting question, also for a caster. Ask him how hard it is to secure a gig like one of the big tournaments. So how do you actually get your tournaments, Cyclops?
Um, I mean, how do I get a chance to cast in big tournaments?
Yeah. Like, what do you actually actively do? Like, you said, for example, you go to people and ask them, hey, can I cast your tournament? Is that how you do everything? Or do you get approached? Or do you keep track of what's coming up?
Before I joined the BTS, yes, I did that all the time. I was like, hey, can I, are you looking for an English
Yeah.
caster? Or yeah, I did that all the time. But after I joined BTS, Got a shout out to my studio. BTS just so they gave me a chance to cast in a big tournament, and they will pass me the tournament, and yeah, I got the game from there, and also some other organizers that willing to hire me.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you say the most important thing is like till you are someone, you have to go out there, get
Yes,
your name
yes.
out there, and ask pretty much everyone.
Yes, you need to you need to do it for free. It doesn't matter how tired you are,
Yeah.
after your day job, coming back home and just keep casting every day from 6 to 10 or maybe 11 for nothing.
Yeah.
For nothing.
Well, to be honest, this is also something I kind of lack in, or I find is kind of lacking in esports. Many people, they don't have a business background, and I talk, for example, to organizers or other people that want to survive around esports, and I ask them like, did you ask that sponsor? Did you ask them? And they're like, no, I don't have a contact. I'm like, well, it's a big company. Like, if you don't get a direct, Skype contact or something like that, there's always the mail. And I asked them, okay, how many sponsors did you actually write a mail? How many people did you ask, like, can I get this contact? And it's the same for casters and players. Like, nobody actually,
Yeah.
yeah, people have to learn that you have to fight hard for getting something done. That's really important. So it's really nice that you also convey this message. Next question. Does he improvise on his jokes, or do you actually have jokes precast? Do you prepare something?
Improvise. I both improvise and prepare. This is how I prepare. Before the game starts, just like I told you just now, I need to get into a good vibe. I need music. I need everything. I need to watch all the news, and everything. I keep it in my head, and it will comes out improvised during the cast.
Yeah.
Sometimes I didn't even know. People keep saying, "Hey man, I don't even understand what this guy talking about, dude." I also don't understand myself sometimes. So. So I didn't even know what I'm talking about sometimes.
Okay.
Until I got to watch the watch, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's more like improvise.
Okay, then the last question here on Reddit, it's will Cyclops cast TI5? Specific plans? Someone approached you already? Something?
It's pretty hard. But still, I admit that I am hoping. I am not expecting to cast an official game like, oh man, the TI5 final or even a qualifier games.
Yeah.
I can do anything over there. I can be an interviewer, even though my English is kind of like, but I can do that with a script. And maybe if I don't mind casting all-star games, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm still hoping. But
the All-Stars game, that's what people, I mean, some people actually say like, Cyclops on the real games, I don't want that because they don't think it's like a fun cast or something, even though I know you from the other side as well. You're not necessarily just a fun caster. But yeah, you say like, if Valve gives me any job around the TI or someone else, just get me there. I do interviews, I do fun cast, I do something, just get me to the TI somehow. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
Pretty much.
But it's just like I mentioned before, waiting for a while to invite me to TI5 is like waiting for a ship at the airport.
Yeah, well, it's the same story for many casters I know. Even getting in touch with the people who are responsible for assigning those qualifiers is hard. They mostly ignore you. You need someone in the scene that actually gets you. So you have been lucky because you found Shiva, for example, you found Bulldog. They gave you nice chances here and there, and then many casters don't have that. You're like really 1 in 50 or so that really make it. I mean, it's my day-to-day business bringing casters up in the scene.
Yeah,
I don't know, showing them how to social media, how to build their brand, how to get to tournaments, to content and stuff. It's such a harsh business where the competition really hates you just because, yeah, they don't want to risk that you get something they want. So yeah, it's kudos to what you actually achieved in those years now, Cyclops. And me personally, I hope I'm gonna see you on a stream, either with you, me on your stream, or you on my stream. It doesn't really matter. I'm pretty sure we find something in the future. I hope I see you also around this Thailand tournament, 100K. you as a regional
Yeah,
star,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you should.
Um,
Do you approach them, or did they approach you already?
yeah, they approached me, but I'm not sure what language
Yeah.
I will cast over there. Maybe my own language. You know, when I
Oh, that's
cast in
interesting.
Thai, I'm be like super analytical, like
Yeah.
Draskill. Because it's something, you know, the reason that I my insight is very weak. It's not that I don't know anything about the game. I do know some, but I don't know the technical vocabulary about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to talk. I mean, I think the vocab is kind of hard. So why I am trying to speak it out, some team fight happens and I need to drop. I need to drop that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I cast in my own language, I kind of like, hey, I love to point out here. Why? I'm more like a winter.
You're more like Winter. I mean, Winter's
Yeah.
English is quite decent, to be honest. I think it also improved over the years. I kind of enjoyed
Yes.
his inside cast when it was what DAC. He was for DAC. He was with BTS on the panel. That was very interesting, I thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's one of the best caster in Beyond the Summit. And I really enjoy his inside cast a lot.
Yeah. I also,
Okay.
I mean, I met him on MPGL. I actually never had the chance to like really talk with him, but I mean, just by seeing him there around the other players, giving interviews to Danny Lee, and all that stuff, it's yeah, it seemed like really a nice guy. So I can also see like why he has so like close relationship to Beyond the Summit, especially gods. Anyway, we are above 1 hour. That was usually not planned. I always try to make these podcasts like 40 minutes, maximum 45, but we had so much to talk about. Cyclops, very interesting. It's your chance now to shout out to the people, like whatever you want to get out there. And after that, we give 2 compendiums away. I will do that via a raffle in the chat. So, but by then I have the recording closed. So your shoutouts now, then my shoutouts, and then we close the recording.
Okay. I wanna give the shout out to all my viewers out there. You know, I would have not been here without your support, and
Yeah.
my viewers just they can't stand so many mistakes that I made, missing first blood or some technical issue, stream crashing, but they still keep on support. I'm so
Loyal.
lucky.
Yeah.
No. I'm so lucky about that. And yeah, and also shout out to my mom and dad, my friend. Shout out to you, Heflamoke. It was a great experience of us during the MPGL.
Yeah.
And also shout out to Qping. Thank you for sponsoring me. Qping is one of the best lag reducer apps, and also Dota2.vpgame.com. For yeah, also they also my sponsor. Thank you very much. That would be all.
Okay, and now that you already talked about sponsors, of course I also want to talk
And
about
also Gigabyte.
Oh, yeah.
Gigabyte.
Don't forget any
Yeah,
sponsors. Oh my god.
Man.
Oh my god. The full sellout.
Okay, and also thank you very much for 2P and also Vulcan for giving me a chance to be in this show, and I'm so enjoying.
And Hitbox, of course. And now I take over with the
Hitbox
sellout. So, guys, this
alright.
was the second episode of The Target with my guest Cyclops. It was a very, very interesting conversation about the Southeast Asian scene, about a caster career as such. Again, thank you, as Cyclops already said. Thanks to 2P, of course. They will write a news article soon about this, as soon as I'm done with the recording and everything. Also, Hitbox and Vulcan, they make this possible at the moment. They're on board supporting this project because they believe in me, in 2P, in the guests I have, and in the interesting topics we are coming up with. So that's very nice of them, I would say. And besides that, of course, shout out to all my guests. Thank you for coming, and I hope I find more and more interesting guests. Shout out to the Hefla TV guys. Shout out to all the Dota 2 casters and the teams I follow. My mom and dad or something. I don't know. No, I'm not going that far. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening. For those who are tuning in, yeah, later, the YouTube VOD will be up, as well as iTunes and SoundCloud, so you can enjoy it on your devices everywhere you go. And now I close the recording and we go into the giveaway. See ya, guys.